Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we are doing the 2023 year-end top 10s. And top 10. Sorry, I changed it from year-end top 10s to just top 10s. And this is going to be my number 7 featherweight in the world right now at 126 pounds. The newly crowned and undefeated WBO featherweight champion of the world, Rafael Espinoza of Mexico. Espinoza entered the year not ranked and wildly unknown. I had never heard of the guy or anything he had done. Earlier in the year, he beat a guy named Ramirez by a TKO in the 3rd round, and then he knocked off another guy with a 2nd round knockout, but both unknown guys. Then he got a golden opportunity to challenge for the WBO title in December against Robeisy Ramirez, who had won the title earlier in the year. Now, my eyes definitely opened and my eyebrows raised when I looked at the combination of his record, knockouts, and size compared to Ramirez. This guy was had won every fight by knockout, except for 3 fights in his career, and he was 20 plus fights in. Now, yes, the competition wasn't even near the talent of Robeisy Ramirez, but he overwhelms his opponents and knocks them out. That's what I noticed. He was 6 inches taller and 6-inch reach advantage over Ramirez. That made me wonder. And I really thought he had a very live chance to pull off the upset. And that's exactly what he did. It was not easy, though. Robeisy Ramirez battled him. It was a great fight between the two. Ramirez, even with Espinoza ahead on the cards, almost knocked Espinoza out. And you could argue that that fight should have been called off when he put Espinoza down, because he was badly hurt. But the bell saved Espinoza, and the fight went on. And then Espinoza was able to get back in the fight, and in the championship rounds, he took over and even put Ramirez down to even the knockdown score, and would walk away with a 12-round majority decision to become the new WBO featherweight champion of the world in a big upset. And the emotion on this kid's face when he won is exactly what it's all about. He was crying. He, was down on his knees with the world title in his hand. And it was just, and honestly, the emotion pouring out of Robeisy Ramirez losing the belt really made it an emotional ass fight. Like, you could tell how much this shit means to both these fighters. And they went at it in a war and a fight of the year candidate. And Espinoza pulled off an upset and became the new world champion. So only 29 years old. His record stands at 24-0 with 20 knockouts, and he recorded the biggest victory of his professional career. And now heading into 2024, what is he going to do? Well, he's it's up in the air on if a rematch is going to happen for a couple reasons. One is we don't know if the WBO is going to mandate him to make a mandatory title defense, because there's been 2 optional defenses since the last mandatory fight, which was Robeisy Ramirez and Isaac Dogboe for the vacant title in April of last year. Ramirez defended against Shimizu in an optional defense in Japan in July, and then he took on Espinoza in an optional defense in December. So the WBO might order Espinoza to fight #1 contender Arnold Kagay next. That's one reason. The other reason is Espinoza, Ramirez might not want a rematch next. He might want to recover, go get a fight in between, and then these 2 guys rematch towards the end of the year. If that's what happens, between those 2 fighters, then I say he should fight his mandatory next, is what I think Espinoza should do. Take on his mandatory, get it out of the way, and then rematch Ramirez in the second half of the year, because everybody will be tuned in for that bout. And it might be even bigger than a unification bout would. But at least getting the mandatory out of the way, whether it's Ramirez in the second half of the year or not, he will be able to unify belts, potentially against Luis Alberto Lopez, if he's still the IBF champion after his mandatory defense against Rhea Abe of Japan, or against Otabek Kolmatov, who's fighting for the vacant WBA belt, because these guys are all top-ranked fighters. So I really think Rafael Espinoza has a chance of going coast to coast as champion this year and potentially even adding another belt. But definitely leaving no doubt how good he is and that he's one of the future guys of the division, you know. And it was exciting to see a guy his size and to get in there and win. And he's only going to provide more fireworks for this division. And it's always nice seeing new blood. And I'm just really happy to see a fighter like Rafael Espinoza in the top 10. So that's it. That's what I got. That's my number 7 featherweight in the world right now for my 2023 year-end top 10s. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel. This was Rafael Espinoza, the undefeated WBO featherweight champion. And this is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.